from a small fishing village to the world's largest megacity. This is the story of Tokyo, a tale of shoguns, samurais, devastating disasters, and miraculous rebirths. Join us as we journey through 400 years of history to uncover how a humble settlement named Edo transformed into the bustling, high-tech metropolis we know today. Our story begins in the late 16th century. Japan was a land fractured by civil war. But one powerful warlord, Tokugawa Ieyasu, saw the strategic potential of a sleepy fishing village on the Kanto Plain. In 1603, after unifying Japan, he established his new military government, the Shogunate, right here in Edo. This single decision would set the stage for centuries of change. Edo Castle became the heart of the new regime, the largest castle in Japan. To consolidate his power, Ieyasu implemented a clever system called Senkin Kotai, or alternate attendance. This required regional lords, the daimyo, to spend every other year in Edo and leave their families behind as hostages. This constant influx of daimyo, their retainers and servants, caused the city's population to explode. Within a century, Edo's population swelled to over 1 million people, making it one of the largest cities in the world, even surpassing London and Paris at the time. Life in Edo was vibrant and stratified. The samurai class, the ruling elite, lived in designated districts around the castle. But the real energy of the city came from the chonin, the merchants and artisans. As the economy boomed, a unique urban culture flourished. This was the era of the ukiyo, or the floating world, a culture of pleasure and entertainment for the common people. Kabuki theater, with its dramatic performances and elaborate costumes, became a sensation. Woodblock prints, known as ukiyo-e, captured the city's lively scenes, from beautiful courtesans to famous actors and scenic landscapes. Artists like Hokusai and Harashige created iconic images that would later captivate the West. Edo was a city of wood and paper, and this made it incredibly vulnerable to fire. Devastating blazes, nicknamed the Flowers of Edo, were a constant threat. The Great Fire of Meiji in 1657 was one of the most catastrophic, destroying nearly 2/3 of the city and claiming over 100,000 lives. Yet, each time disaster struck, Edo was rebuilt, often with improved layouts, fire breaks, and a resilience that would become a defining characteristic of the city. For over 250 years, Japan remained under the Tokugawa Shogunate's policy of sakoku, or national isolation. Contact with the outside world was severely restricted. But this isolation couldn't last forever. In 1853, a fleet of American black ships, commanded by Commodore Matthew Perry, sailed into Edo Bay. Perry's mission was clear: to force Japan to open its ports to international trade. The arrival of the Americans sent shockwaves through the country, exposing the technological gap between Japan and the West. The shogunate, unable to repel the foreign powers, was forced to sign treaties that were widely seen as unequal and humiliating. This perceived weakness of the shogunate led to widespread internal turmoil. A movement to overthrow the government and restore imperial rule gained momentum. In 1868, the last Tokugawa shogun abdicated, and the young Emperor Meiji was restored to power. This event, known as the Meiji Restoration, marked the end of feudal Japan and the beginning of a new era of rapid modernization. The emperor moved the imperial capital from Kyoto to Edo, renaming it Tokyo, which means Eastern Capital. The Meiji era was a period of breathtaking transformation. The new government's slogan was Fukoku Kaiōhi, enrich the country, strengthen the military. Japan embarked on a frantic mission to catch up with the West. The old samurai class was abolished. A modern army was established. Industrialization was promoted at a breakneck pace. Tokyo became the symbol of this new Japan. The cityscape changed dramatically. Traditional wooden buildings gave way to Western-style brick and stone structures. The Ginza district was rebuilt after a fire in 1872 as a model of Western architecture, complete with gas lamps and paved sidewalks. The first railway line in Japan opened in 1872, connecting Tokyo's Shimbashi station with the port of Yokohama. Horse-drawn carriages were replaced by rickshaws and eventually, trams. Telegraph lines, postal services, and a modern banking system were all established. This period of rapid change also brought social shifts. Western clothing, hairstyles, and customs became fashionable. Universities were founded, including the prestigious Tokyo Imperial University. The city became a magnet for people from all over Japan, seeking opportunity in the rapidly growing industries and government ministries. Tokyo was no longer just the political center. It was the engine of Japan's modernization. But this period of progress was violently interrupted on September 1, 1923. At just before noon, the Great Kanto earthquake, a massive 7.9 magnitude quake, struck the region. The initial shaking caused widespread destruction, toppling buildings and buckling railway lines. But the worst was yet to come. As families were cooking their midday meals, fires broke out across the city. Fanned by strong winds, they merged into a terrifying firestorm that swept through the wooden districts of Tokyo and Yokohama. The fires raged for 3 days, reducing vast swaths of the city to ash. Over 100,000 people lost their lives, and millions were left homeless. The heart of modern Tokyo was utterly devastated. The aftermath was a scene of apocalyptic ruin. But the spirit of Tokyo, forged in the fires of old Edo, once again proved resilient. From the ashes, a new city began to rise. The reconstruction plan was ambitious. It involved creating wider roads to act as fire breaks, building modern, earthquake-resistant buildings, and establishing numerous parks for public refuge. This reconstruction period saw the introduction of new technologies and urban planning concepts. Subway lines were built, with the first line opening in 1927 between Ueno and Asakusa. The city was remade, more modern and robust than before. However, the shadows of militarism were growing. As Japan's imperial ambitions expanded in the 1930s, Tokyo became the center of a wartime state. The vibrant, cosmopolitan culture of the 1920s gave way to austerity and nationalist fervor. Then came the Second World War. As the war turned against Japan, Tokyo became a primary target for American air raids. The most devastating attack occurred on the night of March 9, 1945. Hundreds of B-29 bombers flew low over the city, dropping massive quantities of incendiary bombs on the densely populated, wooden residential areas in the eastern part of Tokyo. The raid created a firestorm of unimaginable intensity, a whirlwind of fire that consumed everything in its path. It was the single most destructive air raid in human history. In just a few hours, another 100,000 people were killed and over 1 million were left homeless. By the end of the war, more than half of Tokyo was destroyed. The city, which had risen from the ashes of the 1923 earthquake, was once again in ruins. Japan's surrender in August 1945 marked the beginning of the Allied occupation. Tokyo was a city of despair, grappling with food shortages, homelessness, and the psychological trauma of defeat. But the story of Tokyo is a story of resurrection. The post-war recovery was nothing short of miraculous. With determination and a massive national effort, the people of Tokyo began to rebuild their lives and their city, brick by brick. The 1950s and 60s were a period of high-speed economic growth, often called the Japanese economic miracle. Tokyo was at the epicenter of this boom. Industries like electronics and automobiles flourished. The city's population surged again as people flocked from the countryside to find work. This rapid growth brought new challenges, including housing shortages, traffic congestion, and pollution. But it also brought prosperity. The 1964 Tokyo Olympics was a pivotal moment. It was Japan's grand re-entry onto the world stage, a chance to show a new, peaceful, and technologically advanced nation. The city underwent another massive transformation in preparation. The Shinkansen, or bullet train, was inaugurated, connecting Tokyo and Osaka at unprecedented speeds. New highways, stadiums, and hotels were constructed. The Olympics were a resounding success, symbolizing the complete recovery of Tokyo and Japan from the ashes of war. The iconic Yoyogi National Gymnasium, with its stunning suspension roof, became a symbol of the new Japan's architectural and engineering prowess. In the decades that followed, Tokyo continued to evolve. The 1980s saw the bubble economy, a period of extravagant wealth and soaring real estate prices. The Tokyo skyline was transformed with the construction of futuristic skyscrapers, like the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building in Shinjuku. The city became a global financial hub and a trendsetter in fashion, technology, and pop culture. From the neon-drenched streets of Shibuya, famous for its scramble crossing, to the anime and manga paradise of Akihabara, Tokyo's districts each developed their own unique character. Even after the economic bubble burst in the early 1990s, leading to a period of economic stagnation, Tokyo continued to innovate. The city has become a leader in robotics, sustainable urban design, and public transportation. Its train and subway system is a marvel of efficiency and complexity, moving millions of people daily with incredible punctuality. Today, the Greater Tokyo area is the most populous metropolitan area in the world, home to over 37 million people. It's a city of contrasts, where ancient temples and serene gardens sit peacefully next to towering skyscrapers and bustling crowds. It's a place where tradition and innovation coexist in a dynamic, ever-changing landscape. The story of Tokyo, from the shogun's capital of Edo to the modern megacity, is a powerful testament to human resilience, ambition, and the incredible capacity for renewal. It's a city that has been destroyed and rebuilt time and again, each time emerging stronger and more vibrant than before. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into history.